Thank you.
Now, the news that two men were thrown out of a pub in central London for kissing has reignited the debate about gay rights. They were asked to leave by the landlord of the John Snow pub because he said they were being obscene.
It led to a protest outside the pub in Soho last night, which was led by Paul Shetler, who's with us now. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
We saw some pictures earlier. We'll probably show some more in a minute. Just talk about the turnout. A lot of people there last night.
Yeah, it was quite a few people, actually. I mean, when we first planned it, we initially were thinking about maybe 10 or 15, but it actually really went viral very quickly, and although people refer to me as the organizer, actually all I did was put it up on Facebook and did a little bit of publicity for it. There was an awful lot of people involved in it, but we had about 1,000 people accepting and probably had about 300 people showing up.
The main point being that the gay couple involved who'd been told, they claim that by the pub that kissing in there was obscene, that was considered to be unfair. But we've had lots of people getting in touch this morning who say, hang on, it's got nothing to do with sexuality. If I'm sitting in a pub or a restaurant and any couple are sitting next to me kissing, I don't want to see it.
It might be a question that somebody might not want to see it. It's usually never the case, however, that a venue will throw them out. I mean, if you think about how many times people kiss in Burger Kings or on the tube or in a bank or at work or on the sidewalk or something like that, and how many times are they actually, somebody actually say, stop that now, you must leave the premises. I've never seen that happen. Only, and gay people also, one thing people need to realize is, it's not like gay men feel incredibly comfortable walking around in a straight environment and being affectionate. People always hold back in those kind of environments. People always feel a bit self-conscious. So the idea that people there were on their first date and somehow having some wild and crazy time in what is nominally a straight club just doesn't ring true.
I was quite surprised to see that it was in Soho, actually, and I just wonder, as you say, that perhaps they felt that being in Soho, they were able to be more open and affectionate than other areas.
Well, one would expect so. I mean, although I think one should expect that one should be able to be open and affectionate anywhere one is, but Soho has a reputation for being that.
It's interesting, though. A lot of my gay friends will say we are more respectful maybe in other areas. They won't openly kiss. That's a personal choice.
That's what I'm saying.
But they do sometimes say we're more sensitive in other areas. Do you think that's right?
The word, I wouldn't use the word respectful. I would use the word slightly self-conscious or maybe uncomfortable. I don't think it's a question of respect because I don't think there's anything disrespectful about kissing.
No, I speak actually as a straight woman who'd say perhaps I wouldn't necessarily have a sort of public display of affection in certain areas. I don't know if it's out of respect or just sensitivities or whatever you might call it.
I mean, again, I think if you look at the actual accounts that were there was one account evidently where people were claiming that all kinds of brazen activities were taking place. Every other account from the people who were thrown out, as well as other eyewitnesses, said actually very little was going on. It was basically a kiss on the lips, hands on the table, and things like that. So it really seems to me that perhaps the reaction was a bit over the top.
Is there a danger that the reaction to your snogathon, as it's been described last night as a protest, could backfire, that it could make people more uneasy?
How? I don't think so at all. I think, in fact, just quite the opposite effect. I think all we did really was show that it's actually quite innocent. There's really nothing to be afraid of from a kiss. A kiss is really just a kiss.
And another protest.